Hi, this is Makona Spokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Today, I want to deal with a very important topic, and this is dealing about leadership scandals. I want us to discuss on how to deal with leadership scandals. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that there are times when the world is actually looking after scandalizing men and women of God and leadership of the church. Because obviously, uh, people like the leaders of the church are being scrutinized closely and justifiably so, because if we are examples in the nations through the gospel of Jesus Christ, we're living exemplary lives, and any deviation from that, it will be a scandal. And that is why scandals about men and women of God become a bit more common in the communities. Now, but then because they are there, so I want us just to look at, as church leaders, as uh, um, leaders of the body of Christ, how do we then deal with scandals in the church? Because they will be there. I mean, they'll surely come. There'll be scandals about the leaders of the church. They will be there because the world, as I said, is scrutinizing and looking closely to the church and expecting high standard lifestyle, which is fair. Fair. It's fairly so, because biblically the church leaders should actually live according to high standards, and that's fair, as I've said. But I want us to just therefore to discuss about how then to deal with leadership scandals. Now, the first thing that I want to bring about when you're dealing with leadership scandals, you must try to establish the facts before responding to any scandal or any rumor of a scandal. Because otherwise, we jump the gun, we want to respond, we want to defend the gospel, of course, justifiably so, we want to defend the church of God, and we want to defend. So, therefore, because of that, we end up actually jumping the gun, responding quickly without appropriate facts. But I want us to look at establishing facts first before you respond, because then that will actually bring about a wise response. You will be able to respond appropriately and in a wise manner when you know the facts. Because otherwise, if you're going to just respond, you'll find yourself having said something that you should have not have said, or responded in a way that you'll regret a little later. So please, therefore, establish some facts for any type of a rumor or scandal that is brought before you. Now, I want us to also look at avoid being biased. Otherwise, you will defend the indefensible. Now, I'm sure it's a fact that we've got some of the people that are our favorites, even amongst the leaders. Some people that we love, some people that we are close to us and dear to us. And as a result, when a scandal comes up or emerges about such a person that is dear to you, now the most natural way to respond is to defend quickly, as to respond quickly, and become even biased about it, because there are people that we don't believe that they can do those things that people say they've done. Now, because of that, that creates sort of a way of being biased, whereby you are going to judge things differently in a way with a favor, whereby you will actually start defending the person even before you establish the facts. But I want to emphasize that, as we have mentioned in the beginning, that you need to establish facts before you defend someone. Otherwise, you are actually ruining your own integrity. Because you may be seen, if you're defending the indefensible, you may be seen as defending wrong. You may be seen as someone who's got no integrity, somebody who's defending wrong things. So don't be in a rush to respond. So therefore, as I said, establish the facts, but also make sure that you're not becoming biased, because biasness, as I said, is going to make you to side with somebody who might have done wrong, and that tarnishes your own integrity as well. Now, be careful, therefore, that after establishing the facts, you respond appropriately without bias, without favor or fear, because as a result, if you're going to defend people that have done wrong, and that tarnishes your integrity, as I've mentioned. Also, remember that you need to avoid going around sourcing information, as this will spread the fire even more. Well, when there's a rumor and you start going around sourcing out information, start going around interrogating people and finding out, you're basically making people aware of something that they're not aware of. You're actually igniting fire that was not there. You're actually informing people, and you're making their eyes open in something that otherwise they didn't even know it's existing or happening. So therefore, make sure that you avoid going around sourcing out information about a rumor. Because immediately you do that, as I say, you may actually cause more damage about this particular scandal. So be careful of that. Now, a wise person will go and make sure that you find facts, in the sense of you find the right facts, and therefore you are not biased, as I've said earlier. But make sure that you don't go around actually witch hunting, because if you go around witch hunting, as I say, you will actually open up some can of worms that will actually not be palatable at all, and not going to be easy to handle for you. Now, I want you to also remember that you never interrogate the accusers, because there are people that are accusing others. When we speak about scandals, we speak about people that are bringing about the scandal, people that are speaking, people that are bringing about the news. These are the people that are accusing this particular leader about having done something that is not palatable or that is unacceptable. Now, those people, they will, for the sake of this talk, called accusers. And if I call them accusers, I'm saying don't go to them to interrogate them, because many people spread rumors in order to have attention. So they're basically attracting attention. So don't give attention where attention is not due, because immediately you give them attention, the more they are going to actually rise up and start saying, even the leader is defending, or the leader is interrogating us, or the leader is threatening us, because they will try to actually formulate even more bigger stories that are not even there. When you are interrogating them, they'll feel intimidated, and they will actually even feel that you are actually intimidating them, you are blackmailing them, you are threatening them, and they will go around now making other rumors that were not there, that you are attacking them, that you are accusing them, that you are interrogating them, and all these type of things. And because when you do so, therefore, you are making them to spread the news even more, even to those people that may have not been aware of what is happening. Now, this is key that we emphasize that, but wisdom is to ignore when people are spreading around the rumors, to ignore those accusers, because otherwise, when you give them attention, they will spread even much more. Approach any individual accused privately to avoid embarrassing them, because many of the scandals will actually eat into embarrassing the individual. So therefore, you don't want to embarrass the individual further. So you need to be confidential in this, handle things privately, and make sure that the person being accused, or the person that is being accused to have done something wrong, if you want to find out something from them, please let it be private, so that also you can give them the right to reply. You may give them actually opportunity to explain the situation more clearly. And also, if they have to confess, they will have opportunity to confess, because you're going to find it difficult to get answers when you embarrassing somebody or raising the issue in the midst of others. Because there's a lack of confidentiality, you're not going to get information as a result. And most of the time, you'll find that the person will defend themselves and not come clean and truthfully about it. And therefore, you may not actually even get the information appropriately. So you're defeating the purpose, because even though you want to help the person may not be able to open up, to be helped. So they become stubborn and even maybe defensive as a result. And therefore, you're not going to get much out of that. So please make sure that it is handled privately. Make sure that there's a lot of confidentiality along with it, because that will help you to get down deeper into the matter and be able to discuss it and be able to address it appropriately. And I must also pray that, or emphasize that, you need to allocate on a matured individual to respond to media if need be. Now, if it is in your church and there's this particular scandal, now media attention will be there. People will come and find out, and there'll be a lot of interviews for the papers, maybe for television and so on. So please allocate someone who is matured, somebody who's able to talk, somebody eloquent to be able to explain issues, and also be wise enough to keep what is confidential. Because as a result, when there's a scandal, if you allocate the wrong person, the person will go and spill the beans to the media and actually destroy the reputation of the institution or reputation of individuals, actually without seeing that they're doing so. So because of they are not actually appropriate people to respond to matters of this kind. So please check for a matured person, somebody who will respond a bit more appropriately, somebody who will be more matured in responses as well to the media, because the way you put it to the media, they are going to formulate their stories and put it that way. So please make sure that you're careful about who you allocate to actually address the issues. Avoid being judgmental and keep calm head. Because there are times when a scandal has been raised and they're speaking about somebody accusing somebody who may, of course, be in your leadership. Or also, they might be accusing you yourself. Now, I want to emphasize that even though the accusation is directed to you, or maybe to somebody very close to you, maybe your subordinates in leadership, it's very important to avoid being judgmental. Don't finalize. Don't actually come up with conclusion. Don't judge and say this has happened or this has not happened. So as I've said in the beginning, find out the facts. Make sure that you establish the facts and you make sure that you get the full facts so that when you address it, it is quite clear to everyone that this is either true that it has happened or it has not happened, and let it be clear completely. And I must emphasize that is very, very important to do so. And when you are not calm and you are not cool-headed, you're basically going to address things with emotions, and you may find yourself saying things that you would have not intended to say, that you would regret at the end because of how you approach the matter, because you would have approached the matter with emotions, and that by so doing, you would have destroyed actually the whole approach of it, and you might have actually trampled upon cons of people and destroyed other people emotionally. But be wise enough to be able to approach things with a calm and cool-headedness, and so that you're not actually being judgmental in every matter that is happening within the scandal. Work with the principle of restoration instead of destroying individuals. So it's very important that when you address issues, your main purpose is to restore. All right? And restoring people is very important, because that's the first principle that you should use. When you are restoring, therefore, your approach in approaching the person will be with confidentiality. It will be with respect, of course. It will be with honor of the person to make sure that you give them the right of reply and you respect their rights as well. Very, very important, because it's going to be very key that if you want to restore somebody, you don't destroy them by what you say or being judgmental to them and make them feel actually condemned in a way that they don't feel like they're worth living again. So restoration is that particular approach that will make somebody to still raise their head high even when they've been scandalized, to be able to see a way forward in their situation, and also to see that it's still worthwhile to live even though I've messed up. So that's very important that we emphasize that. I want to end up here today. Your host, Mike Connors Pogani. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. And I hope that you've learned quite a bit. And please join us tomorrow as we deal with another topic. May the good Lord bless you and allow me to say cheers for now.